having an amazing day today. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time to check out this Get Ready With Me. I have been loving really red, smoky eyes lately. Right now, it's really the ideal time if you're wanting to pan some makeup out of your collection to bring out all of your warm tone shadows. Kind of give them a last hurrah before the cooler tones kind of take precedence as we get into late summer, fall, and winter makeup. So this look in particular, as I'm going in with my Pan That palette with the Kat Von D Vida Loca Remix palette, I really focused in on kind of this section of the palette. So if you have this palette, the shades that I'm using are Noble, Molder, Rewind, Vox, Analog, and then I can also go in, like if I wanted to use Black Metal for a liner, but today I chose to go on and go with the Smokey brown for my liner, and then I also have a little bit of a pop of Dark Waves. So if you're shopping through the rest of your collection using your other favorite shadows, the shades that you're going to want to get are definitely kind of a neutral tone brown. It doesn't have to be severely warm or severely cool, just something kind of in the middle. A matte orange, a kind of a reddish shade, your favorite tone, whatever you find most flattering for your eyes. A cream shade, a deep espresso, and then if you want, blue. One of the things that I love about this particular combination is you have a ton of versatility. If you want to wear very neutral on your lower lash line, you're free to do so, but if you really want to bring in bold pops of color, this is a fantastic way to have some zing to your look and kind of take it away from just your neutral everyday browns and tans and creams. So fun stuff. So as we get into the Get Ready With Me, I'm not going to focus too much on more than the eye makeup because it is very similar because I'm panning items right now, so I'll kind of walk you through the products. If you're interested in any of the information on those products, go on and click my description box below. I'll have everything linked for you. And something I didn't really think about before, but I think one of the things that's really making me love this look in particular is this product from Becca. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector in Gradient Glow. And the reason I think I'm really kind of loving this combination altogether is a lot of the tones are very similar. I mean, mine is just about gone at this point, but when you look at the product, I'll go on and put a picture of it right here from the Ulta website. There are hints of champagne and a rusty red and a bronze and kind of a midway brown kind of tan. So I don't know, like it's giving me summer vibes, but still fresh enough for spring. It definitely fits in with the warm trend that is so on target right now. So I feel like now is kind of the ideal time to continue kind of moving through the warm shadows and give them a last hurrah before a lot of the cool tone trends kind of come back into fashion for fall and winter makeup. So it's a fun way. It's still very, very neutral every day. You can wear this. You don't even have to wear it as smoky as I'm going for because I put Vox in that outer corner, but I've also worn it just with kind of the red and the orange and the peach tones, and it is lovely for everyday makeup. So super, super simple. As we get started into the Get Ready With Me, my shadow bases that I'm using, I first went off with my Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC just to give me an all-over shadow base. I set it with my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. And then one of the things I've gone through and done is I've used this highlighting pencil from NYX. It's the Hydra Touch Illuminating Pencil in the shade Just to Glow. It's a normal yellow pencil. I haven't been able to find this in retail stores again, but if you have a yellow highlighting pencil, I've noticed that that yellow base really does a lot to amp up the peach shade on the lid. So you don't have to do it, but I've noticed it really kind of helps. Or you can go through again with Soft Ochre Paint Pot and don't set it, and that will give you a very similar effect. So what I'm doing is I'm going through with this yellow tone pencil all over the lid area just to really boost up the brightness of the peach shadow. It doesn't alter the shade at all. It just really kind of gives it more of a glowy effect on the lids. And then in terms of the peach shade that I particularly pulled, it's very, very common across many of your neutral palettes. So go for your favorite peach. You can go shimmery, you can go matte, you can go glittery. I cannot speak today because I even went through some of my other favorite neutral palettes in my collection. I was able to find peaches across the board. So for this particular look, because I've been panning it, I picked my Too Faced Sugar Pop palette with this shade Peach Fuzz right here. As you can see, I finally hit pan. And so I'm going through with an e.l.f. C brush and I'm tapping this on top of that yellow highlighter pencil all over the lid area. I really love these two in combination together, but like I said, if you have the Too Faced Matte Peach palette, there's a peach shade in there that would be lovely, or if you have Makeup Geek shadows, Beaches and Cream, MAC has a version, Anastasia has a version. Heck, you could even use Anastasia Orange Soda. That would be another lovely option. A little bit different tone, but still light enough that you could make that work. So you have a lot of versatility, basically, with that particular shadow. And then I'm going through with my favorite warm brown ever. It's the shade Noble from my Kat Von D Vida Loca Remix palette, but you're not limited there as well. Go in with your favorite neutral brown. This one's not too warm, but it's not too cool. But if you want something a little bit warmer, go in with something like Soft Brown from MAC. Or if you want something a little bit cooler, you can use like Strutter from the Kat Von D palette. That's something that I have in mind, or Max Kid, if you want something a little bit cooler. But in many of your favorite neutral palettes, you're going to have something you can instantly pull for, and it will be lovely on your lid area. And then in terms of highlight, I wanted to stick with Mulder from the Kat Von D palette. It's kind of it's a yellow cream with a slight bit of shimmer, but again, go through with your favorite highlighter from your collection. I don't like stark white with this look, but I don't want something too gold or too like pinky tone, because otherwise it can look a little weird with the orange and the red that we're going to put on in just a second. So Mulder just kind of fits the bill. Or if you have the Thunderstruck highlighter from Kat Von D, that would be another wonderful option. Or if you really just want to keep it simple, not MAC's, Wet n Wild's Brulee, basic cream, don't need to think about it. Or Lorax cream, don't need to think about it. Because then you're really going to make the red and the orange kind of the standouts of the look, and then have that slight hint of the peach for the romance, sweet kind of femininity to tie it all down together. So, and then the next thing that I'm doing is I'm going through with a red shade. This is Rewind from the Kat Von D Vida Loca Remix palette. I'm stamping it into my outer corner, and this is actually a new brush I recently picked up from Real Techniques. It's one of their domed brushes from their blue collection. I saw it at Walgreens or CVS, I believe. I know they aren't carried at Ulta or some of the other retailers, Walmart, with Real Techniques that I've seen, because I really love this brush. I'd like to try some more from this plush line. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I believe I saw it at CVS or Walgreens when I picked it up. It's really, really soft. It's easy to blend that shadow into the crease. I am loving it, especially for this red shadow. If you're wanting an instant dupe for the Rewind from the Kat Von D Vida Loca Remix palette, what I would go through and use is Raw Power if you have that Kat Von D single. Or another one I thought about, it's not shimmery, but it's a Makeup Forever shade that I personally own in the shade M846. If you want something matte, that gives you another option to really kind of amp up and kind of pull us out of our comfort zones of those everyday browns. And then also I was thinking about the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. There's that red shade, Hunts, I think, something along that line, but it's that bright red in there. That would also be really lovely in this look. So like I said, I'm going through and stamping it into my outer crease area, and I'm blending it up. And then one of my favorite steps to really kind of give some zing to this look is I'm going through with a matte orange. I'm using Analog from the Kat Von D palette, but if you have other favorite matte oranges, I'm thinking if you own the Subculture palette, that beautiful, it's a lighter tone orange than Analog, but that would be lovely. Or going through with your favorite MAC shadows. I'm trying to think who else has matte orange. There's a ton out on the market now. Again, with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, I think there's a bright orange in there. And all I'm doing is I'm gently sweeping that with a small shader brush into the transition area, just to really give some glow, some warmth, but not be in your face stark. Like, it's gonna look a little bit contrasting, a little too garish when you first put it on, but as you blend it out, it really just gives this beautiful glow to the look, and really makes it look professional and sophisticated once it is all put together. And then in terms of the lower lash line, I first line my waterline with a nude pencil just to make my eyes look a little bit more bright, awake. because that is a tip that I use for my glasses and for my hooded eyes. And then for that blue liner, I started off with the Maybelline Lasting Drama Waterproof pencil in the shade Sapphire, Lustrous Sapphire, and then I followed through and set it with the shade Dark Wave from my Kat Von D palette. But again, you can go through with the teal, you can go through with a purple, you can use a brown, you can use a copper. You could go through with, if you really wanted to bring the sunset vibe, bring in some pinks. Do like a purple and then smoke it out to a pink, or a purple to an orange. Lots of versatility and a lot of fun to be had with that lower lash line. And then as far as your upper lash line, you can keep it simple and go with a basic black if you like a winged liner, or if you're a fan of false lashes, that'll really anchor it down and make it cohesive. I wanted to keep it kind of simple, smoky. And so what I've done is I've gone through and tied a little bit of that box into my outer corner, and then I've used the same box to line my upper lash line. I have it over the MAC Costa Riche liner just to give me a lot of stability with it during the day, to make sure there's no transfer into my crease area with my hooded lids. But in a way, it kind of gives me a little bit of that smoky, winged out effect without doing winged liner, because I know winged liner is not something that is very achievable for me, because the hoods of my eyes just straight cover it up. So it gives me a little bit of the winged effect, you know, in my own way. So if you want to go through and use a dark, deep espresso brown, it really gives you a smoky glam look if you're using it to go out to dinner at night. I like wearing it all day long because it looks really appropriate with these particular frames from Firmoo. I don't feel like it's too over the top for every day, but also my glasses kind of minimize my eye makeup, so I'm able to wear a lot of really intense colors and make them a little bit easier for me to make them work, you know what I mean? So go through with your favorite liner, whether it's brown or black, and you will be good to go. And then one of the tips I wanted to share with you is, in order to anchor that look down, I've also used the very same Rewind shade from my crease area as a blush. It works really well. Just, you want to make sure that you tap off the excess from your blush brush before you apply it to your cheeks. Otherwise, it's going to look very clownish. But if you're wanting to shop your stash and find some other alternatives, or you don't want to wear eyeshadow on your cheeks, the Clinique Cheek Pop Blush in Cola Pop is ideal. I'm a huge fan of that particular color. It's one of my all-time favorite blushes. It is amber in a compact kind of thing, so it really made me just smile to realize Rewind kind of gives me a similar effect, with just a touch more shimmer, because Cola Pop is quite matte. Or if you want to go through with the Raw Power and also apply it to your cheeks. So it's a really fun way to kind of give yourself something other than a neutral everyday blush. If you have dark hair and dark eyes, this is a really fun way to make the brown stand out in your eyes. Or if you have hazel eyes as well and blue eyes, this is perfect. And it still works well for light skin tones, and also works well for deeper skin tones, so that you can try out, you know, some bolder colors instead of always sticking with the same neutral pinks and peaches and nudes, you know what I mean? And then for highlighter, again, I stuck with my Kat Von D Vida Loca Remix palette with Molder, just because I like the cohesiveness going down from my eyes to my cheeks to the rest of my face. But you can follow through with your favorite highlighter from your collection. And then bronzer, like I said, I mentioned the similarity between the shades in the completed compact of this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, but I've gone through and I've used this as my bronzer today, just to give me a very subtle glow under that blush and highlighter area. I really love this product, and as you can see, like every time I use it now, I hit more and more pans, so I do expect to finish that. And then lip-wise, I have two options that I reach for on a regular basis with this particular eyeshadow look. If I want something really light like what I'm wearing now, I first go through with my MAC lip liner in the shade Whirl. I line the exteriors of my lips and I fill in the corners. And then I'll either go through with Bite Beauty's Chai or the MAC matte lipstick in taupe if I want more of a matte finish. They're literally the same color. Currently, I'm panning this Bobbi Brown sample lipstick in the shade Brownie, which is pretty much the same color. It has a little bit more of a pink hue to it, but quite similar to taupe and chai, so it's been a perfect everyday wearable color. Basically go for a my lips but better kind of situation, a mauve from your collection. You can go with something a little bit redder or a little bit browner if that is what is more flattering for your skin tone, but regardless, it's going to look beautiful with this kind of almost sun-kissed look. I guess that's, for lack of a better term, it's more of like a sun kiss. Like when you go out and get that little bit of glow from the sun because your skin kind of turns a little bit red, and then you've got the tans and the bronzes. You know what I mean? But if I want a really dark option to kind of go along with that Colourpop vibe, I pull out this Clinique Lip Pop in the shade Colourpop because it's the perfect kind of vibe lipstick with this particular eyeshadow. I know a lot of people would consider this to be more of a fall look because this color is so deep, but I have no problems wearing it all year long. It gives me that red vibe that I want because just wearing like a straight traditional red lipstick is a little too intense with the eye color, but going with something a little bit more burgundy, it just ties together beautifully. So I love this, especially for going out to dinner, or if I have something in the evenings, it's perfect. And then I'll go for this, like My Lips But Better, for the day-to-day errands and taking care of things that I need to get done. So that's about it. I hope that you have just as much fun trying out this look. It is one of my favorite go-tos. In fact, Rewind is my all-time favorite shade from the Kat Von D palette. I can't wait to step into Raw Power because it is just as beautiful. In fact, Raw Power has a little bit better payoff than Rewind, so that's going to be fun to continue wearing this look. And it's really made me fall in love with a lot of the warmer shades from that palette, like using bright matte orange. It's not something that I originally gravitated towards before the Pan That Palette challenge, but as I've been using it day in and day out, I fell in love with it when I did my Subculture inspired Get Ready With Me using it in the crease, and it works just as well with this look. So perhaps it'll give you some tips to kind of look through your stash and find some new favorites. So have fun. I hope that you enjoy it just as much as I've been wearing it. That about wraps it up for now. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. See you later.